Turning to the story in Guatemala this morning, authorities have confirmed 69 people are dead, but there are scores of others still missing after the eruption this week of the Fuego volcano. These are some of the new images just into us. Rescuers finding a baby unbelievably unharmed in a house absolutely covered in ash. And you're seeing in these a glimpse at what officials have been doing in the aftermath of the volcano, going village by village, house by house, sometimes using their bare hands to dig for survivors or look for survivors. 3,000 people have been displaced. And as Michael Serapio joins us this morning, of course, Michael covering this yesterday, it's worth checking in on today, Michael. Every hour we're getting a clearer idea of the scope of this. It's just horrifying, and the stories are harrowing. Where do things stand this morning?
Well, I want to begin with the number that you quoted in terms of people confirmed dead. 69, with that number expected to go up. And of those 69, because this really illustrates what is happening on the ground, only 17 have been identified, and that's because they are so badly scorched they are barely recognizable. Now, that volcano that erupted on Sunday, it buried whole villages. It killed people instantaneously as they were covered by burning ash and those lahars, those rivers of burning concrete that we described yesterday. Now, it looks like heavy mud from above, but that volcanic sludge is still incredibly hot, and that is complicating the search for any possible survivors. The soles of shoes are literally melting. Conditions are hot and humid. Work is incredibly taxing. In fact, rescuers are using sledgehammers to bust through roofs, as many homes are buried up to the roof line, hoping against hope that they'll find survivors. Take a listen to one rescue worker who describes how challenging the task is.
It's very, very hot. The soil is very unstable. We cannot be walking around or something. We are just stepping in woods. The shoes, they have been completely destroyed due to the heat, because it's a lot of heat. And it's very, very difficult to breathe as well.
And the stories are heartbreaking. One woman describing a party that she was attending with family. They were celebrating the birth of a new baby when the eruption happened. Not everybody was able to get out alive, Heather.
So 69, with many more likely to have perished in this disaster. It's the details now about, as you've said, Michael, the soles of shoes and work boots melting that just illustrates, how difficult it is as they're going about their work. One of the things that we're hearing from people in the aftermath, from survivors, they're very angry that they didn't get proper warning from the country's disaster agency. How has that come into play?
Well, it comes into play because there is anger rooted in the fact that they're now hearing that officials were monitoring this volcano since 6 a.m. Sunday, and that was hours before it erupted. But officials reportedly did not expect the force of the eruption itself. There has been some activity over the years with the Fuego volcano, but most have been minor, so people were told to just pay attention to any warnings. But when the volcano did erupt, it was much more powerful than expected, much faster moving. People further down were able to be evacuated, but the closer lying communities were not as fortunate. Fast-moving flows overtook homes, as we said, overtook people. It burned them literally alive to death. 700 degrees Celsius heat of that lava flow. So questions are now being asked about the official response, as there is not only confusion and sadness, but a lot of anger on the ground.
Michael, thank you very much.
You're
We
welcome.
will track that hour by hour this morning once again.